Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today it's one of my quick impromptu unedited videos, and I sometimes do these just to give you first impressions on new things that I've got in during the week, and this week it's a haul video, so several new things. Really excited about all of them actually. So the first one, and this is a big one in the fragrance community, I've got a sample or decant here of Office for Men from Fragrance One. The brand started by Jeremy Fragrance. It's now been released. And we've seen some first impressions on this one from other reviewers, so really excited to get my nose on it. Thank you very much to someone in my Patreon group, the Smelly Army Private Members Club, and it's Richard Black who's very kindly sent this. There's a picture of him with the bottle and this decant. And if you're interested to join up to my Patreon group, you get an extra video every week for just $2 a month. There's a link in the description. I'd love to see you in there. Office for Men then, from Jeremy Fragrance. It's of course billed by him as the ultimate fragrance for the office. There's some bergamot in there, there's ambroxan, there's woody notes, there's some iris in there in the note listing. I've sprayed some on my hand. This is very much a first impressions. I only got my nose on this one today. And I have been predicting that it would certainly not be a bad fragrance. I was never saying that it would suck. Everyone knows the price is a little bit high. It's sort of in the niche fragrance kind of pricing category. I think it's 100 and something euros for 100 mils. So it's not a cheap fragrance. It's not the most expensive thing in the world, but most importantly, the smell. It's very, very fresh, very sharp and arresting in the opening. Very, very bright opening, very appealing. I definitely get that ambroxan note that's so popular in modern perfumes. That does remind me somewhat of Dior's Sauvage, but it's not a clone of that in any way. There's the real sharp crispness that you might sort of be reminded of things like a Creed's Aventus a little bit in some ways, and a very, very clear kind of masculine, modern, woody undertone to it. It's undoubtedly pleasant. No one could find it an unpleasant fragrance, and it smells quite strong so far, but I've only had it on my hand for about an hour or so, so I can't judge on performance. It would certainly be popular with all kinds of people, suitable for all ages, universally appealing kind of smell. It reminds me a little bit of things like Parfum's Vintage X Batch, which sort of crossed Aventus with Dior Sauvage, DNA, a bit like Bleu de Chanel as well. Not a clone of any of those, it's got its own things going on there. And yeah, very, very pleasant, fresh, woody, masculine fragrance. I like it. I'm not wowed by it. It's not terribly exciting because it does tie in with so many other trends in the fragrance world that have been popular and successful. It would be a good thing to wear in the office. And so yes, a good fragrance on first impressions, but I probably wouldn't be rushing out to buy it because it's not wildly exciting to me in the sense. So we'll leave that one there and we'll crack on with other things. In fact, we'll put that to one side because it's going to take up too much space. So what else did I pick up this week? Well, the next one actually, this is really good actually, this one, and it's something completely different. And this is from a clone company, guys, and they're called Pocket Scents. It's based at the company in the UK. I believe you can only get them in the UK. I will put the link to them in the description because I am very impressed by this fragrance that they've sent me, and this is called Blood Axe. Now that's a clever name because it's based on, quite nice packaging by the way, it's based on Viking by Creed, and I've been comparing it over the last week or two to my own sample of Viking, which I have, and I've tried Viking many times in stores. So there's my Creed Viking I've been comparing with. So a really, really nice fragrance actually, Viking, underrated a little bit. I sort of was a bit skeptical when it first came out, but it is really good. So Viking has notes including things like pink pepper in there, there's rose, there's mint, and a little bit of lavender, I think, in Viking. Really, really nice, spicy, woody fragrance, and this is such a bang-on good copy that that's why I've decided to put it in the video. A 50ml bottle, which has a very, very nice Frederic Malle-esque bottle, a nice label, good sprayer, a good lid, good quality presentation. And this one on their website, I think it's around about £35 for 100ml, which I think is very good value for money. I can tell you that this one performs really well, and it's damn near indistinguishable from my sample of Viking. Very, very close indeed. And for that reason, I do get sent a lot of clones. I don't put them all in videos and hype them, but this one really good. Their new range is called Ne Plus Ultra, and they're a little bit more highly priced and more snazzily presented than their other fragrances, which are very, very inexpensive, some of those. And I've tried a couple of those as well, and some of those are very good too. The other one in this range at the moment is a Royal Oud clone, which is called Royal Woods and Oud, I think, and that's also very, very good. But this one, to me, was the one I'm most excited about at the moment. Superb stuff. So Blood Axe from Pocket Scents. If you're in the UK, well worth checking that one out. And let's move on. So the next thing, I've been waiting to get this one for years and just never pulled the trigger. So here it is. It's L'air du Desert Marocain from Tower Perfumes, or Andy Tower, the perfumer behind that company. So a legendary fragrance which has lavender and incense combining to sort of create the impression of the arid air of the Moroccan desert and a nighttime scene in Marrakesh. Beautiful, complex, exotic, yet very wearable to me fragrance. Don't think this is a really far out kind of niche fragrance. The bottle design on this one is absolutely beautiful. That lovely blue colour on that one, and the design of the shape of the bottle, very clever and unique, and a brilliant classic fragrance. You can pick it up for around about £100 for 50 ml. So it's, you know, to be able to get that small price, it's not hugely expensive. It's not cheap, I know, but it's a beautiful exotic fragrance and a real classic from 2005 that was first released. And there aren't really many niche fragrances better than that, even if you spend 2 or 3 times as much. So check out L'air du Desert Marocain if you haven't. It's a must try for fragrance fans. The other one then, the next one that I've picked up this week that I'm really happy with is Lemon Line from the House of Mansera. I also own Cedrat Boisé from them, and Lemon Line, as the name suggests, is quite a lemony fragrance, but there's more to it than that. It's sort of a candied lemon accord to me in this one, and there's also some very nice lavender and musks in the base. Beautiful combination of maybe lemon and lime with a lovely kind of underlying sweetness and a muskiness that I find it really beautiful. And a couple of times I've worn it this week and then picked up the shirt or jumper the next day, and that dry down on this is absolutely beautiful. So it's sort of unfairly dismissed perhaps by some people as just smelling of lemons, but there's a whole lot more to it, and I think it's a really great signature scent for people who like citrus aromas. Great performance on this one, as you get with most Manseras, and very much right up there in my affections with the legendary Cedrat Boisé by them. The performance on all 3 of these fragrances is really good for me so far, so very happy about that. Last but not least, another one I was really excited to add to the collection is this one, and this is Fiero from Xerjoff's Casamarati line of fragrances. Again, a really nice citrus fragrance, a citrus aromatic, often compared by people online to Dior's Eau Sauvage from 1966. In fact, perhaps more to the vintage classic version before the formula was weakened a little bit. Lovely bergamot and lemon in the opening, some other great aromatic supporting kind of green leafy notes in there, and a certain musky sweetness underneath, perhaps with some vetiver and woods in the base. Really, really beautiful. If you like classic citrus aromatics, it's kind of a amped up, some people call it Eau Sauvage on steroids. So that gives you some idea. It has really good performance and longevity. Picked it up on a jumper and a shirt a couple of times after wearing it the day before, and again you get that really nice dry down. So absolutely beautiful citrus aromatic scent, Fiero from Xerjoff. And if you get the 30ml bottle that I got there, you don't have to spend too much. I got that on a Facebook group here in the UK. So really pleased to pick up all these 4 fragrances, and thought that the Jeremy fragrance one was good, but considering the price, it just smells like a really good designer fragrance with some uniqueness, a really sharp, crisp profile on the scent for that one. But for the money, you're going to pay a bit more than most designer fragrances, and unless you really buy into the whole Jeremy fragrance thing of him being special and that being making it more magical to own than an Acqua di Gio Profumo or whatever, then you might look elsewhere for your office fragrance. But it is decent, it is good, and of course it's by the famous perfumer Alberto Morillas. Let me know what you thought of my haul and of this video in general in the comments below. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.